Okay, so just like you guys, I'm preparing for Lost Ark. I have the Founders Pack, and that means the game for me is unlocking within 24 hours. Now, I'm excited by the game, but I do not know which hero we're going to be playing. What I did was pulled up here a Lost Ark class guide. Which class should we play in 2022? We're going to go through this and figure out which hero or class is exactly the one that I am going to be interested in. Now, normally in these type of MMOs, what I tend to play is I tend to play mages, or if I don't play mages, I like to play like assassin type of classes, so I will be looking for that in particular. He says there's 15 different classes, and I think that some of these classes are in fact gender locked, meaning if I want to play as a male, and typically if I play these MMOs, I like to play as a male because I like to make the hero look as close to me as I can possibly get them. Some games have good long red hair. Some games do not have curly long red hair. So we'll see if this game has it. But I know we're going to be gender locked on some of the classes anyway.
All classes can do all content in the game, and all classes are great at doing AoE damage, though some make it easier than others. Also, when you get to the end game, groups will try not to bring duplicate classes because each class...
I will say, though, that the assassin-looking skill like this one here, it looks awesome. I thought assassin would be great, but I think assassin's one of the classes that's gender locked.
Debuffs that don't stack. So if two sharpshooters are in the same group, only one of their buffs and debuffs will be counted. This helps promote class diversity in groups in the endgame, so pick a class that looks
That's
cool
actually
to
pretty
you.
good to know.
I can't stress enough how important it is to be excited about how your class looks and feels.
I agree.
Released years ago in the East, and the West is reaping the benefits of those years.
That's true. This isn't exactly like a brand new game. It's been out in Korea for a while now, and in Korea it's been doing very well. From what I understand, it's like one of the largest games over there.
There's a balancing that took place prior to our launch. So really, every class is capable as they've been tweaking them for years. As I talk about each class, I'll play footage of their abilities in the background so that you can not only listen to their strengths and weaknesses.
It's a good video by this guy. I'll put a link to this video here in case you want to watch this as well.
First up, the Warrior. These are your heavy
Okay, so the Warrior, and I think he's going to talk about the Berserker first here. I'm going to let this play while I'm talking about it a little bit. The Berserker in particular was the class that I thought I was interested in playing. The Warrior is gender locked only to males, and with the Berserker, it is sort of like Tryndamere from League of Legends. Like you have a giant two-handed sword and you do massive amounts of damage. Even though you're kind of a slower character, obviously you are closer range. You're not really a long-range character. Whereas some of the other warrior classes, like they have the Gun Lance, for instance, does have some ranged abilities as well as more of a tanky type of hero. So I am leading right off the bat. I'll tell you guys this much. I am leaning towards playing the Warriors. I think the Warrior might be quite interesting.
That they put out so much damage, they are necessarily a little bit squishier than the other Warrior brethren. It can be easy to get caught up in all the damage you're putting out, so mind your position and avoid taking too much damage yourself. Your ultimate sends you into a rage mode that allows you to attack 20% faster and with a 30% increased crit rate. This makes the Berserker...
Now, they also have a different version of the Berserker, from what I understand, other than the one he's explaining, called the Madness version, which what it essentially does is make it where you take 65% reduced damage from all types. However, you only ever have a max of 25% of your HP. And I think that's quite an interesting gameplay style, and that's probably what I'll be playing. I did play the Paladin during the alpha test, which is what he's showing now right here on the screen. And the Paladin was kind of a mix of like support mage moves with a sword. And I thought it was almost like a warrior mage, which actually I liked a good deal. But the problem is, from what I understand, the Paladin is also sort of the healing class. So I don't really want to be locked into going into a dungeon. People are being like, why aren't you healing or something? And that can be very unfun in MMOs. So even though the Holy Paladin looks pretty cool and was the class I messed around with during the alpha, I probably am not going to be playing the Paladin this time around. Let's see what he has to say about it.
One of the harder classes to play in the game. As with all supports, you are expected to watch not only yourself, but your allies. On top of that, you are expected to know the boss mechanics so that you know when it is and is not a good time to dish out those buffs and debuffs.
It's a good point.
If you're looking for the feeling of a mage in heavy armor or to be a heavy armor healer, then the Paladin is going to be the pick for you. But remember that later on in group content, you will be expected to play as a support, opting for group.
So now that's the part he's talking about. You got to play as a support. Now he's going to get into the Gun Lancer, which is basically the only tank in the game. It's sort of the prot warrior. From what I understand, this hero is essentially the one with the taunt abilities and is more of a slow gameplay style. I don't think this is exactly going to be the class I am going to play. I don't really like tanking that much, to be quite honest with you. I've done it in MMOs before. I did tanking in World of Warcraft, and I don't think I would like to replay that experience again. Plus, this is an ARPG, meaning there's going to be a lot of soloing, and as well as a lot of soloing. It's the top-down cool animation mechanics, and I want to see cool animations and feel like I'm doing a lot of damage. Now, I'm not saying what he's showing here isn't cool animations. I just don't think it's, in particular, what I'm looking for in my gameplay style. Now, all of the strikers and sophists and all of these people look really awesome. The martial artists actually look quite enjoyable. If you are a fan of basically basic fighting styles, you know, punching, the monk type of thing, you're probably going to enjoy them. They have some Dragon Ball Z type of gameplay where they actually have literal like spear bombs they pop people off at. If you look at some of the abilities here that he shows, it does look like pretty basic fighting style, which is why I'm not going to pick them, but some people might just enjoy this melee style that's a little bit more of a monk, you know, Street Fighter type of thing, whereas I want the big sword. So that's martial artist. Pretty cool. I'm still heavily leaning towards the warrior between all of these, and the martial artists are probably going to be in my opinion, going to be a hero that is played a lot. I think people are really going to enjoy this. You can see there's your Kamehameha type of Dragon Ball Z type of thing. So I think people are going to be playing that a lot. Now, the gunner is probably going to be my close second choice if I don't pick the warrior. There's all kinds of different classes. You have the artillery, sharpshooter, and deadeye. Now, sharpshooter is more the sniper one, but that's locked to the females, whereas the gunslinger, or excuse me, the gunslinger is locked to the females, and the deadeye is locked to the males. The deadeye is more of pistol and shotgun, from what my understanding is, whereas the gunslinger, the girl, is more of the sniper. So there is a little bit of variety in terms of what gameplay style you want to play as, and I'm probably going to lean towards the actual shotgun pistol guy. I think that's probably seems a little bit more exciting to me. Now, the sniping is probably going to be more popular. People like being a sniper more than I would assume being a shotgun user. And from what I understand, these people can be quite good in PvP as well. I know PvP is a big part of this game. However, I'm going in as a noob. I didn't play, you know, in the other servers. I did mess around with the alpha for all of like, you know, a half hour or something. And that was a lot of fun, but I did not go extremely far. So I am looking at this sort of from a casual, I can't wait to just have fun with it. And the shooters do look quite fun, but still, out of all of these, I'm still liking that Berserker Warrior. I think looks quite enjoyable for me. If I was going to go with anything, it'd probably be this guy, though. That Deathfire animation looks pretty good. And it kind of reminds me of the Demon Hunter from Diablo. And I did actually like playing the Demon Hunter in Diablo, so I could see me playing that one. Artillerist looks pretty cool. He's sort of a set up and launch shots where you think they're going to be type of hero. This one looks clunky. I'm going to put it that way. I normally am not a giant fan of the heroes that take a very long time to do cast animations, and normally in PvP that's not so great either. I do think the flamethrower looks amazing, and he probably would be better in a party setting where you have people tanking and he can just sit there and output DPS. I'm sure his DPS is quite good, and his animations do look quite good as well. Probably not when I'm going to play my first time around, especially when I'm trying to learn the game, but I do think he looks kind of strong. Okay, so now we get into sharpshooters, which are basically the ranger type of heroes in this game. I think this is going to be one of your PvP classes, basically lining people up to make them move slower and then kiting them and doing damage. Very standard type of ranger gameplay. I have played these type of classes before. I think they're quite enjoyable. However, to be honest, my thing with them is almost all of the MMOs do rangers exactly the same. There's a shot that you shoot up in the air and tons of arrows come down. There's the big charge shot like they just showed that has one big one in the middle. You know, there's some one where he shoots some homing missiles or something, or an explosive arrow. Like, they kind of all feel the same. And I understand you could probably make that argument for people with the sword or the mage with the ice and the lightning and all that. But in rangers, it feels particularly strong that way. Like, it just feels like it's very much repetitive, just lots of arrows. And while that is something maybe people like, you know, that's normally not my gameplay style. Now, my gameplay style is in fact the mage, and I do really like the mage. I like the slow casting animations, but with really impactful hard CC. Like, normally mages have freezes. Normally they have maneuverability with like teleports, and the animations are typically the best looking. Like, I think that animation right there, that sonic vibrations, looks amazing. Unfortunately, in this game, you literally cannot play a mage without being a female. It's not possible. So that, I mean, it's not like game breaking or anything, but it's just a little bit of a bummer that I can't make, I have to make gender bender DM in order to play it. And my problem with the females in these type of games, it isn't that I don't want to play as a female, it's that they make every female just look like some gigantic, huge titted girl. And I don't really understand why. Like, normally the armor looks worse on females just straight up because they spend so much time just putting them in bikinis and stuff. And in MMOs, like, a lot of my enjoyment is how cool the armor looks and like collecting different armor and transmogging your heroes and stuff. And I just feel like they do a weaker job with girls in MMOs when they do that, because I feel it's like they get very lazy. You can see here they put them in mini skirts and then give them fairy wings or something, and that's just sort of what the girls look like. You can see here we have another like dress type of thing, and it's like, okay, I understand it's a female, therefore they're going to wear dresses, but it's like, can we get some cool armor? Like, I know if this was a dude, what they would have is giant pauldrons with lightning zapping around in a crown or something, but because it's a girl, the majority of the focus is going to be on her knees, and it's just stupid to me, The assassin looks like they do a better job of this, and I might actually consider playing an assassin because the armor does look quite good, and it is a gender lock for female as well. But it's they do a good job with it. It's not like the mage where everyone's literally just wearing a mini skirt. And so for that reason, yeah, the assassin is making it onto my list too, and is one of the classes I would consider playing, where they don't quite do that. Also, the blades look awesome. The animations look awesome. And from what I hear, they can be quite strong as well. Even though I don't know too much about the game, you're really just kind of getting a casual let's play type of view experience from me. I do believe this one looks interesting. And honestly, Deathblade was the one my Twitch chat was telling me to play as. They were saying Deathblade is completely OP and one of the best there. Also, the animations look great, as well as the hero looks great. I don't think that, like I said earlier, they ruined the armor with her. She actually looks like a really cool female protagonist, and the armor looks good, the cape looked good, the flowy movement looks good, and it sort of fits quite well. I even like the color palettes with like the purple and stuff. I'm a big fan of that also. So the assassin is growing on me and is maybe taking like my second place in what I potentially want to play. But I really am still leaning on the warrior, and the warrior is going to have the coolest looking armor, I think, too. You're just going to be the big standard armor, lots of plates, lots of, jagged metal. And I kind of think that that's my go-to look. So that kind of wraps it up for these classes at the moment. This guy's video was quite good. Lucky Ghost, shout out to him. I'll put it right here so you can see it. Lucky Ghost. You can go check out this video if you want. He does a good job breaking it down as well. But that's what I'm going to be playing. I think by the end of this, it's going to be the Warrior Berserker. Or if not that, then maybe the Gunslinger or the Deadeye. And if not that, then one of the Assassin Girls, because I think that they look quite good also. Let me know what you're going to play, and I'll see you live for this game the second it goes live at twitch.tv/Darth Microtransaction. I'll see you on the next video.